Hey, what's going on guys? It's Jonathan, and a little bit ago I did a video for tips and tricks on the Galaxy Note 9 camera. In this particular video, I'm gonna be going over some tips and tricks for your iPhone XR, XS, and XS Max, and I'm not going to isolate it to just the camera. I'm actually gonna be talking about the phones in general and iOS. So no matter if you're a beginner or an experienced iOS and iPhone user, you should be able to take something from this video, especially if you're right there in the middle. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into this with number one. If you're ever in a situation where you want to manually control the brightness on your phone, you might find that accessing the auto brightness selection is a bit difficult and it's not located where it should be, which is under display and brightness. It's not there. They've actually moved it from here, and let me show you where it's at now. You're going to want to go to general, then go to accessibility, and then go to display accommodations, and it's under auto brightness. So if I turn it on, you can see now it will automatically control the brightness of my phone. If I turn it off, I can control the brightness myself. If you're a YouTuber like me or you're a journalist and you have to take a picture of your phone screen a lot and you find it difficult to match your phone screen's brightness with your environment and you always get that weird flicker, this tip is gonna come in handy. So number two is how to adjust your white point value. So like I said, if you're a YouTuber, you're really going to appreciate this because you can control the amount of brightness your screen is putting off without affecting the darker parts of your display. So what you're gonna wanna do is turn on reduce white point. You can see mine is set to 75%. You can see how dim the display is right now, but we can turn up the brightness and it's not going to make it overexposed. It's actually going to balance it out perfectly so you can match your display to your environment to get that perfect balance without any screen flicker. Pretty cool, nice little secret tip right there. The iPhone XS Max is a very big phone, and the iPhone XR is just a little bit smaller, but still a relatively large phone. And while the iPhone XS is completely manageable with one hand, some people might find the one-handed keyboard extremely useful, and a lot of people don't even know that it exists. So let me show you. Number three is the one-handed keyboard. So you're gonna pull up your keyboard, long press on the emoji icon, and then you can either put the one-handed keyboard on the left side or on the right side. We're gonna go on the right side first, and then you tap on the arrow to get out of it, and then now we'll put it on the left side. Again, not the easiest thing to access. I wish you could access it also from the microphone here, but you can't. But nonetheless, you do have a nice one-handed keyboard. Number four, if you're moving from an Android device, you might find the iPhone camera app to be underwhelming. You can't control the ISO, you can't control your shutter speed, you have no control over your white balance. Basically, it's great for auto pictures, and it does a fantastic job at that. But if you want to shoot raw images or you want more control, you're gonna have to download a third-party app. There are a ton to choose from, but most you do have to pay for. The one I'm gonna focus on today is Muse Cam. If you go in it, it's a very general app, but at the top, you're gonna see JPEG, and if you tap on it, you can enable RAW. You can switch to the front-facing camera. You have the ability to control the focus. You have the ability to control your shutter speed, your ISO, your white balance, and you can also set up a grid in order to frame your shot right. Nothing major, but still awesome to see in a free app. One thing I love about Android is how you can assign your own default apps, including your own keyboard. And a lot of people don't realize that you can assign your own default keyboard on your iPhone, including your iPhone XR, XS, and XS Max. Now you can do this for a couple years now, but iOS 12 really has improved the support for third-party keyboards, and I'm gonna show you why. So this is number five, how to assign a third-party keyboard. In order to enable a third-party keyboard, you're gonna wanna download one first before trying to do what I'm about to show you. I already have the Google keyboard installed on my phone, so let me show you how to enable it. You're gonna wanna go to settings, go down to general, and then look for the option for keyboard, tap on keyboards, and then add new keyboard. Your third-party keyboard should pop up right here. You can see Google keyboard, tap on that, tap on the keyboard again, and then enable full access. Now, when I go back, and I go to my keyboard options, I can press the globe here and then go to Gboard, and then now I am using the Google keyboard. Really nice because it does have swipe typing. Now the iPhone 8, 8 Plus, and iPhone 10 supported 4K 60 frames per second, which was pretty legendary at the time. However, with the iPhone XS, XS Max, and XR, you still get that 4K 60p, but you also get HDR video. But how do you actually change that? I'm gonna show you. Number six is how to enable 4K 60. To enable it, go into settings and then go down until you see camera, tap on camera, and then look for record video. Tap on that, and then tap on 4K at 60 frames per second. Now when you go back to your camera and then you go over to video, it says it right there in the corner, you're shooting at 4K 60, and it does still do the HDR feature, and it produces beautiful video. The front-facing camera on the iPhone isn't the best in the business, but it is really good. And it does support 1080p 60 frames per second. You know what that means? That means you can actually get slow motion video off your front-facing camera. Let me show you how. Number 7 is how to enable 60 frames per second on your front-facing camera and get slow motion. So if you want to shoot slow motion video with the front-facing camera, there's a couple ways to do this. If you don't want to spend any money on a third-party app, then you gotta have a little bit of video editing experience, and you also need to enable 1080p 60 frames per second on the front-facing camera. The issue is if you go within the settings and then look under the camera settings, there's actually no options for the front-facing camera. To enable 1080p 60 frames per second, tap on record video and then select either 1080p HD 60 or 4K at 60. Either one of these, even though they're affecting the rear camera, they're also going to affect the front-facing camera. Let me just show you. We're gonna leave it at 4K 24. We're gonna go in the camera, go under video, switch it to the front-facing camera, and you can see that is definitely not recording in 60 frames per second. So we'll go back to the settings, select 4K 60, and then go back to the camera, and now you're recording in 60 frames per second on the front-facing camera. So you're gonna record your video clip and then drop it into your video editor, whether it's iMovie, Final Cut, Adobe, whatever it is, interpret the footage or automatically slow it down if you're using Final Cut or iMovie to whatever your timeline frame rate is. So if it's 30 or 24 frames per second, it's going to slow that 60 frames per second clip down to 24 or 30, thus giving you slow motion. Or if you want to spend a little bit of money, you can go in and get Filmic Pro and switch it to the front-facing camera, go under your settings, frame rate, select 60, and then select playback and drop it down to 30 or 24. And then what it's gonna do is interpret or slow down the footage inside the phone itself. So we have it all set up. We'll go ahead and record a quick clip and we'll stop recording and we'll play it back. And it should play it back much slower than what it recorded, thus giving you slow motion on the front-facing camera. The iPhone XR comes equipped with portrait mode on the front and back side, but the back side does have a limitation. It needs to detect a face. So if you're trying to take a portrait mode shot of a flower, it's not gonna work because it doesn't have a face. But there is a way around that. So number 8 is how to get a better portrait mode on the iPhone XR. The iPhone XR has a really good camera, and portrait mode works really well. But the issue with portrait mode on the iPhone XR is that your subject has to have a face. So if I try to take a portrait mode shot of this lemon, it's saying no person detected and it just won't take the shot because that's the way Apple has set up this software algorithm inside the stock camera app. Luckily, there is a way around that. You're gonna wanna download an app called Focus and launch the app. And then now if I try to take a portrait mode shot of this lemon, let it focus real quick, snap the photo. You can see it cut the subject out from the background pretty much perfectly, and it'll allow you to adjust the blur just like you can with the iPhone XS and XS Max. And it even goes one step further by letting you control the bokeh, but that's a whole different story. But nonetheless, there's your fix for portrait mode on the iPhone XR. Tip number 9 goes back to tip number 8, but instead of just focusing on portrait mode on the iPhone XR, this is for any iPhone that has the portrait mode option embedded into the software. This is gonna give you better portrait mode processing and the Google Pixel colors or color science. And this is relatively new. You're gonna wanna download Google Photos. And the thing about Google Photos is it now supports depth control. So if you take a portrait mode shot on your iPhone, you can actually control the depth right in the Google Photos app. So you can see I have a photo here, but if you look right here, it got Danny's hand, which is not part of my face, obviously. But nonetheless, you could control the depth right here. So you could change the focus, but if I tap on myself, it actually fixed where it got Danny's hand. So it's giving you better portrait mode processing, which is really, really nice. And if you like the colors that come off the Pixel a little bit more than what come off the iPhone, if you go under light and then go down, you're gonna have an option for pop. You're gonna wanna increase that a little bit and then go to color and you can reduce the deep blue and you can enhance your skin tones, whatever you wanna do. just the small little tweaks here will actually give you more pixel-like colors. Or you could always just back out, go under where they have the filters, and you could just do auto, and it will give you pretty much what you would see off a Pixel phone. Except it now has where his hand was not blurred out from the iPhone processing is now blurred out from Google's processing. This is definitely a major win and a hidden gem. If you're like me, then you've probably been using a third-party password manager for quite some time. For me, it's LastPass. Been using it for at least 10 years now. And I gotta say, for me to transfer all my passwords over to iCloud or even to Google Chrome, it's a pain. So I am happy to say that the new iPhones, or iOS 12 in general, has third-party password support and it works flawlessly. So number 10 is how to use your own password manager. So you're gonna wanna download your password manager from the App Store, then go under settings, scroll down until you see passwords and accounts, and then tap on autofill passwords. Make sure your password manager is checked. Now, whenever you're logging into an app or browsing a website on Safari and you wanna log into that website, you could do so using your favorite password manager. Really good stuff. Well guys, that about does it for this video. If you enjoyed it or you were able to learn something and take something from this video, make sure to smash that thumbs up button as it does help out the channel and it just lets me know that you appreciate what I'm doing, and that's always a major plus. If you have any questions or you would add something to this list, leave it down below in the comment section. Help out your fellow subscriber or viewer. If you want to hit me up on a more direct level, make sure to follow me on my social media networks. Those can be found in the description of this video, as I do respond faster there, and it's always nice to hear back from you guys. And before I leave, I do want to give a quick shout out to this video's sponsor, which is Colorware. If you didn't know, Colorware is a great place not only to get your gear and equipment painted, but you can also skin it out. A lot of people don't realize that Colorware offers some really awesome color combinations for their skins. You can mix and match, and there's tons of choices to choose from. They're very affordable. They're gonna protect your devices from any unwanted fingerprints, smudges, and scratches, and it's just gonna treat your device to a very nice customized look. So if you wanna find out more about Colorware's skins and what they offer, that link can be found in the description of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and of course, I'll talk to you guys in the next video.